Hi, this is Tara, and this is your happy horoscope for Scorpio season. So, Scorpio season, the sun will be moving into Scorpio on October 23rd. It's a little late this year. Usually it's kind of between the 21st and the 23rd. So, the sun is moving into Scorpio, and Scorpio energy it's a water sign. So, it's intense, it's emotional. Scorpio is very much associated with darkness. And here on the northern hemisphere of the country, that's when the days start to get really dark. This is where the darkness is starting to overtake the light in our just daily goings about. I feel like the theme for this season is actually something that hangs on my wall, and I have a sign that hangs on my wall, and it says, "Show a little faith, there's magic in the night." Yes, that is a Bruce Springsteen lyric. I'm a Jersey girl, what can I say? Anyway, but it's more than that. It's more than just the song lyric that made me buy that sign and actually put it in a place where it's often one of the first things that I see when I get up in the morning. Show a little faith, there's magic in the night. That's what Scorpio energy is all about. Scorpio entices you to go into the darkness, into your own personal, emotional self, and really go as deep as you can, because the deeper you go, the darker you go. That's where you find the most light. That's where the magic is. The magic is in the darkness, and it's like when, you know, say you've had a night where you can't sleep. I've had a few of them lately. And you're looking outside and it's so dark, and then all of a sudden you see that first little bit of light, and it seems so bright against the darkness. You know that light is coming. So no matter, Scorpio wants us to learn to be comfortable with the dark, and to know that it's okay to be in the dark for a little while. That's not a terrible place to be. That's sometimes where we find the most beneficial stuff, the stuff that really gives our life more joy and more light. Most importantly, this is the kind of season where healing is bountiful. It is just, there's so many opportunities for healing. Whether it's the past, whether it's what's going on with you right here and now, or even if there's some kind of, and I hope that you don't, but you know, we have a tendency to project into the future and sometimes worry about stuff that we anticipate happening or we know is going to happen. There can be a lot of healing for that too, and give you some peace so that you're not feeling heavy with you know, all of those low energies, you know, like guilt and sadness is not necessarily a low energy. That's, again, one of those things that sometimes you just have to feel it until the light comes in and kind of brightens it up and brings in the happiness. But all of those things, regret, it's not coming to me right now, but I think you guys get what I mean. I feel like this is speaking to that deep, dark part of you, and you know what I'm talking about, so I don't have to go into a whole lot of detail about it. So that's overall Scorpio season. What I want you to remember, and what I hope that you'll hold on to, is that there's magic in the night. And there's light in the dark, and there's healing, so much healing for you. All you have to do is allow yourself to let it in and move past anything. The dark is always, the sun keeps coming up every day. The light keeps rising, and it will as long as you will allow it to. And that's what Scorpio comes every year and wants to remind us of. Now, this year is particularly intense because we have a partial eclipse at our Scorpio new moon on October 25th. So this eclipse, it kind of partners, I don't want to say mirrors, but it sort of mirrors too. Think about last May when we had our last eclipse season, and whatever was going on there, I was actually kind of surprised on a personal level when something that has just occurred with me, a very intense experience. And when I think back, I realized it really did start in May. And there was a part of me that knew where it was going. So anyway, that's just something to think about. Think about, if you can, if there was anything particular going on in May. If you can't, don't stress about that. You know me. I'm not a big believer in stressing about anything. Just kind of, let the energy be. You deal with it as you need to, whatever you need to do to feel your best self, because that's what the universe wants to do for us. That's what the galaxy is there for. It's there to support us in helping us to have our happiest journey. And that's why, as the seasons move and we move through the astrological calendar, there's different energies. And the energies always, they kind of come in groups, and we're coming to an end of that middle group that starts with Leo in a fire sign, and we move through air, we move through earth. Well, actually we go through earth first and then air, and now here we are with water. The whole year ends in water sign in Pisces. So we end with water so that we can take in what we have experienced and feel it. Because when you feel something, that's it's the feeling that really makes our life's journey so rich and bountiful and wonderful. It's your emotions that help you attract all kinds of good things. Even if you're having an emotion that doesn't feel so good right now, maybe things have happened. A lot of us right now are going through transitions and transformations, and that doesn't always feel so good. That's okay. That's, again, like I said, the light will rise. It always does. So it's a question of being comfortable where you are, knowing that the light's going to rise, things are going to get better, and that's the message of the eclipse. And this eclipse is kind of interesting because it's sort of occurring, and if you're a scientist or very into astronomy or anything, and I'm saying this wrong, feel free to let me know, but don't get too, because I'm not an astronomist. I'm just kind of feeling the energy, and I kind of know what's going on with the astrological aspects of it. That's about it. And I pick up whatever energy I can from it. So, this particular eclipse is focused on the southern node of the moon. That's kind of interesting. If you've ever heard the term, well, we know true north, right? That's kind of the North Star, true north. North kind of signifies heading forward, heading in the right direction, while the south is the past. If you've ever heard the term going south, it kind of means that you're going a little backwards, which can feel off. It can make you feel a little like, what the heck is going on? That's the kind of energy that happens during Scorpio, and in particular with this eclipse, you may find yourself going backwards. Maybe, something from the past comes up, or something comes to an end, I can't say what it is, what's going to happen for you, and sometimes with eclipses it can take a while before it actually occurs, whether you actually see something or feel something. When I say see something, I mean like something material happening in your life, or how you feel or something like that. It can take a while before that happens. Sometimes it happens right away, sometimes it happens right before, or basically there's a big focus on, with this eclipse, endings and beginnings and endings, and they're all kind of the same thing. It's really, I think what it's for me, what the energy I'm getting from it is the eternity of everything. We are eternal. All energies are eternal. You know, the infinity symbol has been playing a lot when I meditate and stuff like that for me lately, just how everything keeps flowing. So if something is coming to an end, or know that that means something new is coming in. If something from your past suddenly comes forward, it's coming forward so that you can deal with it and either find the best use for it in your life, or if it has to go, then it has to go. I'm not a big fan of, I don't want to say fan, that doesn't come out quite right, but I'm not one to constantly be saying to people, oh, you have to release this, you have to release that. No, sometimes everything that happens to you, everything in your life, it is part of your experience. It's what brought you to here and now, and everything good comes from everything. It's hard to see that, and there's some truly heartbreaking things that happen out there, and you know, my wish is that if something like that has happened to you, that you are able to find peace with it and find something good from it, something good for you, something good for the world. That's what I mean by, maybe there isn't, maybe for you the best thing to do is just whoop, get rid of it altogether. I'm done with it. But sometimes you when you release something, you think it's gone, and then somehow it creeps back. So if you find that there's something that you thought was done with and it creeps back, that means that there's something else there for you, and you need to take a second look. And again, go into that dark place. Don't be afraid of it. Be bold. That's what Scorpio is all about, okay? Scorpions don't hide from the dark. Scorpions run towards it because they know that's where they are safe. That's where they thrive. And this time of year, that's where we can thrive too, and we can find some really beautiful stuff in it. So just be kind to yourself this time of year. Show yourself a lot of compassion. Show other people a lot of compassion. It can be, you know, working with the darker energies. And by dark, I don't mean that in a negative way at all. Scorpio is beautiful, wonderful energy that is so useful. And this happens, it's one of my favorite times of the year. As I know it is for a lot of people. And I think it's that intensity that we really feel and we enjoy with it. So just be easy with yourself, be easy with other people, and just show yourself a lot of love and kindness and compassion. And if you do find that you have to do a little work with it, just trust your instincts, because that's another good thing about the dark. Sometimes, you know, in the dark, your other senses, those physical senses that we rely on so much, sight and sound and feel, you know, touch and everything, when those senses are gone, all the inner senses kick in. All of a sudden your third eye is there and your intuition is there, and everything's popping up saying, this is the right thing to do, that's the right thing to do. And you trust yourself and you trust that inner voice, your inner being, and you go with that, and you see what kind of magic you create. Okay? All right, so I think that's enough for right now. Let's talk about our reading for the month. So, as usual, I am working with my chakra, oh God, I can't read that, it's chakra zodiac healing oracle. So I've taken the Scorpio energy out of the deck, and Scorpio is described as the detective for the very reasons that I just explained. You go into the dark, And that's where you find a lot of valuable stuff that you can bring out into the light with you and use to make your life and the life of others better. Okay, so that's why we like to call Scorpio the detective. Just this time of year, a lot of things that are hidden down deep, they tend to come up and want to be recognized. So recognize them and find the magic in them. There's magic in everything. All right. So the first card that we draw, and there's a lot of cards here, I'll explain. So the first card we draw is the energy that is moving away from us this season, and that is, okay, so it's the sun. Like I just said, we're heading into the darkness, okay? Now, the sun here is being portrayed as strength and vitality. It's a different strength that's going to arise. When we're talking about strength and vitality, with this particular energy, we're talking about physical, okay? I'm not saying you're going to feel weak and worn out, although you might, because it gets darker and you get a little more tired. But when that happens, when, again, your physical senses are not dominating, that's when the other senses kick in, those inner ones. Trust them, listen to them, let them speak to you, and allow yourself to receive what they have to offer you. And not even just your personal internal stuff. You may start getting messages from your guides, your guardians, your angels, your ancestors. This time of year is just a beautiful time to get in touch with, I like to call them my team. All those energies, those beings that are with us, that are watching out for us. It's a good time of year to open yourself to them. I strongly advise, if you don't normally meditate, this is a really good time to do it. Pay attention to your dreams, because that's where a lot of messages come through too. So the energy moving away is the sun. That's because the darkness is creeping in, but we're not afraid of it because the magic is there, and we know the sun's going to come back. The sun always does. Okay, so where we are in the present, we are. I swear to you, I draw these cards. I do not look at them. They just come up. Anyway, intuition. That's where we are right now. Like I was just talking to you about. Your inner senses, your inner being is trying to speak to you. Your intuition, your guides, your guardians, your ancestors, all those people. Somebody on the street, somebody you don't know, may come up to you and give you a piece of advice, or just, offer something that all of a sudden clicks with you, and you're like, whoa. I want to say, I don't know, geez, maybe it was in May. I don't think it was that long ago. Anyway, I met a person who told me something about myself, unsolicited, that I was a little, but now I actually understand why that person told me what they did, why I needed to know that, and how valuable it is to me in this particular here and now. So you never know. Be open. Don't shut yourself off to anything right now. Okay. This is a time to trust. Whatever is coming your way, always remember, good is coming from it. Okay. And now let's see where the energy is going to take us. I'm so excited. I like so far, this reading is just awesome. I can't wait to see where we're going. Let's see. Renewal. That's what it's all about. Endings, beginnings. Okay? That's what the eclipse is all about. The dark comes in, and when you come back out a new person, renewed. You never want to feel like where you are here and now is not beautiful and wonderful and joyous. But we all know we are meant to continue to flow and grow. And we want that to always be in a positive way. And that's what renewal is all about. You're constantly evolving. I'm not the same person that I was 10 years ago. Are you? I'll bet you're not. And who I am right now is not the same person that I'll be 10 years from now. 10 years from now, I hope to be sitting on a beach somewhere with a cocktail. Probably a margarita. Anyway, you get my drift. Renewal is where we're headed. If you are willing to face the darkness, if you are willing to trust yourself and the messages that you receive and follow through on them, trust them, believe in them, listen to the magic that is being told to you, and see where that brings you. Okay, so I drew, we always draw a bonus card, and this time I did something a little bit different. I used one of my tarot decks, and I used a tarot deck that I haven't used in a long time. It's called the Crow's Magick. It's a little creepy, dark tarot deck that actually has a lot of life and buoyancy and light to it, again, with all of the darkness, and it's just perfect for this time of year. The cards in this deck are absolutely beautiful. Even if you're not a fan of the tarot, look it up online. It's called the Crow's Magick Tarot, and just take a look at some of the pictures. It's just so gorgeous. It's like one of my favorites, even though I haven't used it in a while. I had to go digging for it, but like, I was trusting my intuition. My intuition said, go find the Crow's Magick. That's the one. So I drew a card from the Crow's Magick Tarot to see what extra energy we had. Oh, I love this. It's the Ace of Wands. Okay. And on here it says success, rule. So wands in the tarot, if you're not familiar with the tarot, wands are about drawing magic from above and bringing it down here to earth so you can use it for your good. That's what a magician's wand does. It draws magic and then it creates something out of the magic. If you do that, you will be successful. You will be ruling your life. And that's another thing, that's an important thing to remember this time of year too, is always remember, you have a choice. We forget that a lot of times. I was just talking about this the other night, about how much power we have, how much rule we have over our own lives and our own being. Sometimes it feels like we don't, but we do. You have a choice as to how you are going to face whatever darkness is coming or you're in. You can decide, I'm going to be comfortable with this. I'm going to see where the light's going to shine and what this is going to mean for me. And that's the best use of it. Remember your power. And I think that's what the Ace of Wands wants to remind us. Okay, and the Ace, it starts off all of the energy. So you're right at the beginning of manifesting, of creating something special. You match that with renewal, and who knows what you can do. Okay? Success and rule. But you have to be the one that makes the choice to be in charge of your well-being, of your happiness, of yourself. Then, finally, I drew one extra card for the solar eclipse, and the question I asked when I drew the card was, what can we learn from the solar eclipse? Yeah, it is a solar eclipse, yes. It occurs with new moon, so. And that card is, God, this card has been coming up a lot this year, I feel like. Uranus major life changes, okay? So what can you learn? You can learn that you can change, you can transform, and you can be happy with that. You can learn that you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to feel like you're losing anything. You can feel like only good will come from everything. Everything you experience, every action you take, every thought you have, only good will come from that. And that's how you change your life. And that's how you change, because once you make those inner changes, the outer world is going to reflect it. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. Hopefully my sound and my light was a little bit better. I spent a little extra time on it this week, so I'm really hoping that it works well. And if it doesn't, feel free to leave me some comments and I'll keep working on it. I'm not a big technical whiz, so you know. Have a very happy Scorpio season. I will come back around the full moon and we'll talk a little bit about that, and we'll do a check-in, see how you're doing. Just remember, there's magic in the night, and you deserve all the magic. Wishing you lots of love and light.